Welcome back everyone to another video. I am Poseidon and this is Psych Reacts. Now, we have covered 2 killers / serial killers so far. If you haven't seen those, I will leave a link in the description below. Go check them out. But I am a psych major. I am still in school, so I am not an expert. But today we're going to be looking at Aileen Wuornos, I don't know if I'm saying that right, interview. She has been convicted of first-degree murder for killing 7 men. Now, a little bit of background is she is put on death row. She obviously was executed October 9th, 2002. She went under a lot of trauma as a child. It's not really clear what it is. A lot of abuse and all that. But she also was a prostitute. So she would say in here, like, if I got into trouble with a man, then I'd shoot him. So that's pretty much what happened. But let's go ahead and take a look at her interview without further ado.
I was just wondering how you're going to be, at 9:30 tomorrow morning.
That smile, though.
Prepared.
I'm prepared. I'm all right. I'm all right with it. I'm all right with it. But like I said, remember, let them know that I know that the cops knew who I was. After Richard Mallory died, I left prints everywhere, and they covered it up.
So throughout the whole interview, she talks about the police being in a conspiracy with it. Like, they saw her go in and commit the crime and they let her do it. However, there were no facts supporting her claims.
And let me kill the rest of those guys to turn me into a serial killer.
How have you prepared yourself for tomorrow morning?
I'm all right with it. Yeah, I'm ready to go. Hey, I was tortured at BCI. They had the intercom on in the room, and they kept lying that it wasn't on, and they were using sonic pressure on my head since 1997.
So with this claim, you might be thinking, okay, this woman is a little bit crazy, but let's actually delve into it a little bit further. With trauma, it can change a person instantly. They can do a complete 180. Some people, like, everyone reacts different to trauma. However, it seems like she has went through a complete 180 turn throughout experiencing this life trauma. So she is claiming that in her prison cell, they are trying to use sonic pressure to change her emotions. That's like essentially what it was used for back in the day.
And I think they had some kind of eye in the cell, I'm not sure, but every time I started writing something, it went up higher. So I'm thinking that probably had the TV rigged. The TV or the mirror, something was rigged. They got a huge...
So a lot of these allegations are very out there. Like, it's kind of those things that is like, oh, the government's out to get me. Oh, the government's out to get me. However, I wouldn't say that it's like a schizophrenic disorder, because that leans towards schizophrenia, is assuming that everyone's out to get you. However, in this case, it's her trauma that is causing her to believe everyone's out to get her. So this trauma is causing her to think that the system's against her, the society is against her, and that's because her whole life she's never been loved, because it says as a child she was always abused by men. Now, one thing I want to point out is they used a male interviewer. I think it would have been a little bit better if they used a woman. I don't know how much it would have differed, but like, if she's been abused by men her whole life, why have a man interview her about her crimes? I think she would be a little bit more softer with a female interviewer, but that's just my opinion.
Then when I had 3 meetings with Miss Villacorta on it, every meeting I had, she increased the pressure of the volume of the comm, increased the harassment on the floor, increased the trays being inedible, just increased every bit of my complaints and trashed all grievances. They're trying to make it look like I was crazy at all times, rig up the room with torture. If I said anything about I think their whole plan was to try to make it look like I was totally crazy, and so nobody would believe anything I had to say about anything.
Now, this is possible. Okay, hear me out. What she's saying is completely, like, outrageous, and if this did actually happen in the prison that she was in, it's completely horrible. even though she is a serial killer and she murdered 7 people, it's the fact that it really depends on where your line is. People are sent to prison because they are bad. Yes. A lot of people in the comments of this video have been saying, man, I feel bad for her. She just wanted to be loved and she never got that. So it is possible. There are a few like cops in the prison scenario that are dirty cops. So it's possible that it was rigged. There are dirty wardens as well. So it's possible what she's saying is true. However, there's no evidence to back it up. So either this is all really happening and the prison is actually covering it all up, or the trauma is actually making her believe that she is an enemy to everyone around her. Like, everyone believes she's an enemy and they're out to get her. However, that may not be the case.
I suffered so bad. I was really struggling to survive. Had a lot of trays that were attempted murder and everything. I had to wash all my food off. Then one day I didn't wash my food off and I was sick for 3 weeks, almost died.
But you're okay now.
I wonder if there's any evidence to back this up. I didn't really look into it, but I wonder if there is evidence stating that she was sick during those times, because then it could kind of clear up whether or not she's crazy. Let me know down in the comments if you know anything about it, because she could just be saying these allegations and she doesn't care, to be honest, because she's on death row. So no matter what she says, it doesn't matter. She's still going to be sentenced to death.
I'm okay. I'm okay. God is going to be there. Jesus Christ is going to be there. All the angels and everything. And, you know, whatever's on the beyond. I think it's going to be more like Star Trek, beaming me up into a space vehicle, man. Then I move on, recolonize to another planet or whatever. But it's whatever's the beyond. I know it's going to be good because I didn't do anything as wrong as they said.
Okay. So here's where she gets a little bit off track. She thinks that when she dies, she is going to be like in a Star Trek type thing that sends her off to another planet to recolonize. I don't know about all that stuff. I don't know. Okay, I'm not gonna comment on all that stuff, but this really doesn't help her case on whether or not she's crazy. And the fact that she thinks she didn't do anything wrong also doesn't help her state of mind. Maybe it's possible because she does claim later that it is self-defense. So it's possible that she doesn't think she did anything wrong because she was like defending herself. Because these men were trying to hurt her, is what she claims.
Because you've changed your story. I'm just trying to
What are you talking about? Change story on what?
No, about whether it was self-defense or not.
I'm not going to say it. You know, I'm not going to get in depth about my cases, Nick. I'm on my way to the chamber. Nothing stopping it. You can believe it or you don't have to believe it. That's up to you, man.
So, this also kind of shows that she may not be insane because she's aware that she's going to die. She's aware that people don't believe her. And she's like, all right, look, you can believe it if you want or not. That's up to you. But whatever she believes in her head is what she believes. So she is perfectly happy to die because she thinks society and the government and the police are all out to get her. So she is willing to say, okay, I'm done.
Put a big question mark
which is quite sad.
4 or 5 months before my arrest, it was covered up.
But nonetheless,
Nobody ever asked me these
whether the
questions.
cops were following you or not, I think.
Oh, whether the cops were following me or not.
Okay, the interviewer really doesn't have seem to have much experience with this question here, because she's stating, okay, the police were like, she's basically saying the police were in on it. However, he's kind of discrediting the actions of what she says the police were doing. They were watching her and they let it happen. And he says, well, whether or not they did it. So he's discrediting the actions of the police, of which he is claiming inevitably makes her mad because he's like, well, they're doing something wrong. Why did I get in trouble and they didn't?
Yeah.
Let's say they were following you and they did everything that you're saying they did. Nonetheless, you killed 7 men.
Yes, you
did.
did.
And I'm asking you, what got you to kill the 7 men?
And I'm telling you because the cops let me keep killing them, Nick. Don't you get it?
Not everybody is killing 7 people. So there must have been something in you that was getting you to do that.
Oh, you are lost, Nick.
So
I was a hitchhiking hooker.
Right.
Running into
Right.
trouble, I shoot the guy if I ran into trouble. Physical trouble. The cops knew it. When the physical trouble came along, let her clean the streets, and then we'll pull her in.
But
That's
how come
why.
there was so much physical trouble because it was all in 1 year? 7 people in 1 year.
Oh well. Oh well.
Alright, so in this clip, she is showing no remorse towards her actions. This is either because she is a psychopath and doesn't care, or because she believes these men were trying to hurt her, and she did what she had to do. So she is saying that the cops let her do this to get rid of those scummy men that were trying to come after her and hurt her. And then she said, okay, once she's done her job, let's take her in now and put her in prison. So she is saying that basically the cops are letting her do the dirty work.
Out of retaliation for taking my life like this and getting rich off it all these years in total pathological lying. Yeah, thanks a lot. I lost my fucking life because of it. Couldn't even get a fair trial. Couldn't even get a fair investigation or nothing. Couldn't even have my appeals right. You sabotaged my ass, society, and the cops, and the system. A raped woman got executed. It was used for books and movies and shit. Ladder climbs, the election, everything else. I got a big finger in all your faces. Thanks a lot. You're an inhumane bunch of fucking living bastards and bitches, and you're gonna get your asses nuked in the end, and pretty soon it's coming.
So obviously she is a very rage-filled woman. She's been through a lot of trauma that could contribute to this amount of rage that she has for society, because basically, if she was getting abused by men, then her mind could have taken it and been like, why is society letting this happen to me? And that is why she is acting out and saying, society, you screwed me over, government screwed me over, the police screwed me over, and now they're all benefiting off of it. Because she went and killed 7 people, and everyone's going to go write books about it, interviews about it, and TV shows and all that kind of stuff. So she is saying that she lost her life because society failed her. So all of the trauma from her childhood past, the men abusing her, and then becoming a hooker, and then men still basically technically abusing her, all leads to this psychotic break, which fills her rage, saying, why did society let this happen to a child, and why did society let this happen to a woman? It shouldn't be like this. So that's kind of her points that I wanted to point out. I wouldn't say she's insane. She's not the smartest, but I wouldn't say she's insane because psychiatrists and all that have ruled her mentally stable. She definitely is a little bit paranoid, seems a little bit like the trauma has caused her to think that society is out to get her. And that is just one of the million things trauma can do to a person. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I would love to hear your discussion on it. A lot of people do feel sorry for her because she lost her life when society failed her. But, you know, you kill 7 people, you kill 7 people. So it's very debatable. A lot of the comments, let me show you, were saying that she was able to stay her pain without shedding a tear. That's pure trauma. I feel sad for her. That I don't think they should have executed her. Only serial killer I feel bad for. So a lot of them are like very on her side for being a serial killer. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Drop a like on the video if you want to see more Psych reacts. Hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. And as always, I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.